So a few Sundays ago, after the main church meeting, I was approached by a couple who had heard some of my information about parenting strong-willed kids in a spirit of love, and they were a little upset because they couldn't get their daughter to come to church, and they were standing there together, and I could tell they were a little bit frustrated. So we had a little bit of a discussion, pretty interesting discussion, and I was able to share some real quick ideas, um, and I could see that they may not want to put in the work necessary. Now, I'm obviously projecting, but it appeared that they didn't really want to do the hard work to get the result that they wanted, which is a daughter that would come to church with them. She was just defiant and just not coming. And so I thought, you know what, maybe, as this is happening, I thought maybe I can just share with them some of the things that my family does together now and how a couple of my sons actually refused to go to church, and we were able to work with them to get them to church. And now, to this day, they like us and they come over. I have my two oldest sons are married, and they live away from us, but they're back in our home probably twice a week, hanging out, having fun, goofing around. And my oldest son even has asked if he and I can do a podcast together. So we're going to be doing that, I think, starting January 1st. But as I shared that with them, you could see the excitement in them grow a little bit, thinking they could still, if they did the right things and worked hard, they could get her to church and still have a great relationship. I think somehow they thought that by getting her to church, it would damage the relationship, and it was really interesting to me. So, we finished up the conversation, and in our church after the main meeting, we go to Sunday school, so we separate into different groups. And I was heading back to go to Sunday school, and as I did, I saw the two of them leaving. And maybe they had to go. I don't know the situation, but it reminded me of when my father. I remember when my boys were young, and I actually at this point I remember having my third of five sons, and I went to my father and I said, "Hey, Dad, what can I do to guarantee they'll be happy, successful, functional adults?" My three sons at the time, and he said something I'll never forget, and I want to share it with you. He said, "Well, go to church, take them to church with you, but don't just go to church. Go to church happily. Be at church happily. Don't complain about it. Don't fuss about it. Um, don't be churchy." That was one of his things. We're very. I'm very religious, but I'm privately religious. I don't throw my religion at other people. I think of it as a personal, very personal thing. He said, don't preach at your kids, but set an example of the kind of man you want them to be. And that's what my dad did for me. My dad was always at church. He took me to church. I remember one time I approached him and said, "You know what, Dad, I don't think I'm going to go to church anymore." And he said, "That's okay." He said, I said, "So I don't have to go?" And he said, "No, you have to go. You just have a choice." I said, "What's my choice?" He said, "You can go to church and be happy and enjoy it, or you can go to church and be miserable and I'll help." And he laughed, just like I laughed. And I realized, and I said, "Well, when do I have a choice whether I go to church or not?" And he said, "You have that choice when you can make the right choice." And I watched my dad for years and years and years go to church, be happy, spread joy, learn, grow. My dad he didn't just go to church, he went to church and he enjoyed church. And he set the example for me. And as this couple left, I don't know their situation. Maybe they had to go, but I don't recall seeing them in Sunday school. And you should probably know, and we should all probably know that we're models for our kids. They see what we're doing. They see what we're doing more than they hear what we're saying. And so it's going to be awful hard to ask your kids to do something that you do reluctantly. Now, I'm not saying that's their case, but I'm saying that is the case in a lot of situations. So you're the model for your kids. You're modeling behavior. You're modeling the kind of world you want to create for them. If you're an angry, bitter, frustrated adult, you can probably expect to have angry, bitter, frustrated kids. And that's a you thing. And that you're modeling the kind of behavior you want from them. So hopefully that's helpful. A little bit longer than normal, but hopefully that's helpful. And have a great day. I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.